125, and today I'm going to be doing another very important update for our upcoming fan film, Ash vs. Jason. Now I want to get right into this and say that we did just do a huge 41-minute update, but things change. That was mainly about what we plan to do and basically what the main premise of it is. So if you're looking forward to seeing this fan film when it does come out and when we do it, definitely check that out. It's a must-see unless you just want to go into it with no idea of what you're what it's going to be about or anything. You just want to see Ash versus Jason, basically. And in my last update, I talked a little bit about some other things that the date in which we are going to put this out could have been pushed back, but now I'm back again to talk about some other things that me and my brother were talking about, and something that might happen, so that will affect our fan film in a good but bad way. So our very first plans for this was to start working on this fan film in mid-October. So around October 20th or so, and something like that. Whenever our fall break is, that was mid-October, because that's when our fall break is. So it's like the 25th or something like that, and it lasts a week. So we were planning on doing it then, and then I was going to do editing and all that, and if not that, early February. So those were our two main plans of dates. In February, we would have just been able to work on it on a weekend or something like that. And I believe sometime, because we go to school, obviously, that there is a 3-day weekend sometime in February. So that was our original plans of when to do this, but that has been pushed back, as I said in my other one. And reason for this is that I, at the moment, am working on my chainsaw, the Ash chainsaw hand. Other than that, I have everything else ready. There might be some stuff that I would want to add, but I can't really think of any other than the fact that I need to get chainsaw done, and also, which I did talk a little bit about in my short other update, is that I am having a guy make me a mechanical hand, as seen in Army of Darkness, and I will not be able to get that until around Christmas. When I say around Christmas, probably basically right at Christmas, or maybe a week before Christmas, so yeah, that definitely pushes us back. My brother also, on a website, he wants to get a better Part 7 latex mask, and the reason for this is because, one, it'll look better, and two, it'll give him more flexibility. As the one we have now, which I can show you, a few Christmases back, my brother got one of these, and then I got one. So this is how the one looks that he has now. You know, it's actually pretty good, but the main problem is the neck part here. It doesn't go down far enough, and it's like when you move your head, it kind of comes up. And there's just issues with it that we can work it to, make it work in our fan film if we wanted to, but it's much easier to have something that works completely and gives you more flexibility, as Jason will not just be killing one person or two people in this. He will be fighting, like the actual fighting. So more flexibility, more comfortability for my brother, the better. As I said, it is on a website, and this is what pushes it back a little bit more, is my brother hopes that by Christmas it is in stock. If it is not, he is going to be getting the Freddy vs. Jason latex mask. That also, it covers, a pretty good portion of the neck area, which gives lots of flexibility. And then he also has to get a Freddy vs. Jason mask, and as of right now, he is working on the Freddy vs. Jason costume at the same time as him somewhat working on the Part 7 costume. So this is the best thing for us to do right now, because by the time he's done, either way, it'll be the best costume that he can make, which will be pretty good. And it might take a while, but it's good to have something to fall back on. See, if the mask doesn't come and he can't do Part 7 because he wants to have good flexibility, which I agree with, the more comfortable he is and the better it looks, the easier it'll be to do the film. and so then he will go with the Freddy vs. Jason, which those two versions I both agree with. Originally, we both wanted to do Part 7, which I still do, and if not, then I am still very happy with Freddy vs. Jason, which is actually the version that Ash fights in the comics, so even more, it's cool. That will change our story, our timeline, because we do have a timeline for this, in that, I guess, since Jason will be rising, from the water in this, as he did in Part 7, except we're taking out Part 7 and beyond. So everything in the Friday the 13th timeline happened up to Part 6. And then 19 years later, Ash rises. But instead, this version, if it ends up being Freddy vs. Jason, then I guess Jason just looked different in our universe or whatever. I don't, So yeah, which I'm completely happy with. It's fine. And he is going to be adding the chain, and I think he's going to be beating it up a little bit more than the Freddy vs. Jason costume actually is. But yeah, we're going to have some Part 7 aspects to it. So that's basically the main thing that's pushing us back, besides the mechanical hand. The chainsaw, me working on that, that's not pushing us back because it isn't really, it's not really taking that long, but I didn't really have time to work on it this weekend. Not that I didn't have time, but I have to get the top part for the handle, so maybe next weekend I need to go to Menards or something and get something for that, because I do have the top pieces, but I'm not going to go too much into that because you guys don't even probably know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so that's mainly what's it right now. So this is the last thing, and I dread saying this, but if all this happens and it takes longer than it should, and by the time we have all this stuff, it's either in the dead of winter where it's really snowy and we can't really get any good time to do it, like let's say we get all this done by Christmas break, like we have everything we need, and by Christmas break, and it's just crap ton of snow outside, we're not going to do it. And that'll be the only time we will have to do it, because we go to school. And we're not doing it in spring or summer because it's just way too hot, and the atmosphere doesn't look the part to what we're trying to do. So fall and early winter are the best time. So all else fails, we're doing it next year. Now there are upsides to doing it next year, fall next year, I mean, and that is that we will be 100% prepared. Downsides to this, anything can happen. Up to something could happen to our costumes by then, or something like that, or anything can happen is basically what I'm saying. But I guess we just have to deal with that. So as of right now, our two plans are either we get it done and end up doing it Christmas break right now, if we have everything by then and the weather's looking good to do it, or we get everything we can and everything's perfect, and then we do it next fall, which I really wouldn't want to do. I wish we could do it this fall, but right now that doesn't look like it's going to happen, so that is what we have. So I guess it is pushed back, and I want to be a film director myself, so this is the kind of stuff that comes with that, delaying, things that don't work out. So I get kind of used to it by working on small things like this, so it's good practice. Although I would like everything to work out, it just doesn't. Just look at films that have come out over the years and how much they've been put through and how long it took them to release when they were going to release on this date. It's nuts. And so that's basically the same thing happened to me. It's not that big of a deal, but I really wish we were 100% prepared. And another small thing is my brother could grow, because, he's younger than me and he's taller than me. See, I'm 18, and he just turned 15 in August, and he's a couple inches taller than me or so. And see, he could grow by then, so that could be another plus. The taller Jason, the better. So, yeah. But that's basically all I want to talk about today. Hopefully this wasn't too long, and I'll leave you off there. I may put some more updates on in the future, and going over my Ash costume and stuff. And I did talk about why I have this tactical holster in the very long update, so if you think that's bad that we're using this instead of the iconic holster with straps, then definitely check that out. There's good reason for it. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and have a groovy day.